Hi, this is Elaine Starling. I'm the host of Why 5% Succeed, the show where we talk to leading entrepreneurs and small business owners about how they're making a massive difference in their business, and you can too. Well, I've got a fabulous guest today, and I'm going to use somebody else's words. In fact, I want to quote New York Times best-selling author and one of the world's top transformational leaders. Her name is Janet Bray Atwood. You probably know her really well. Here's what she had to say about my guest, Runa in 2010. She said, "Watch out for Runa. She's got that extra wow factor to become one of the world's leading motivational speakers, supporting people to unleash their passions and live their full potential." Well, it's only 4 years later, and this same Runa has a multiple awards from throughout Europe. And she's a branding expert, a speaker and strategist who works with heart-centered professionals worldwide, helping them to clarify and brand their own X factor so they can reach their full potential. Well, Runa just published her first book, Branding Your X Factor, how the secret to success is already right in front of your... I'll let Runa tell you about that. Well, it just came out last week, and already international media like the Huffington Post has picked up the book, and they've given it rave reviews. I got to tell you this one. The report from Huffington Post is the prediction is that branding your X Factor will be a staple for business owners, along with books such as Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill and How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. For any business owner or inspiring entrepreneur, branding your X Factor is a remarkable gift. It's no wonder I'm incredibly excited to have the opportunity to interview Runa today and learn more about her and her concept, personal branding and branding your X Factor. Runa, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Elaine. It is my honor. It's simply my honor to be part of a show that has this title, Why 5% Succeed. Very intrigued, and I need to learn more from you.
Well, first I'm going to turn the tables and talk about you because you've got some incredibly great concepts. I was spellbound. I read the entire book, cover to cover, didn't put it down. I wrote tons of things in my journal. You recommend that we journal, and I took all sorts of notes. But I got to ask you, why this book and why right now?
Great question. Why this book? Well, I'll tell you, Elaine, I think this world today that we are living in is screaming for authenticity and transparency. And I think that following the economic crash that well, most of us actually went through back in 2008, and my country, Iceland, was really badly damaged from that. We basically had to figure out from scratch, who are we? I mean, we had to do that as a nation. And as individual, of course, that's what we had to do. And I think when you stand on this crossroads, when you have really lost everything and you have to figure out, well, who am I really? What is it really that I stand for? What is it that I really desire in this life? If you can represent that in your business, if you can show that authenticity, that the transparency of who you authentically are, it's not only going to make you a stronger and better business owner, it is also going to give you that instant trust, that thing that we are all, as business owners, we're all seeking our clients to trust us, that we deliver as we promise that we are going to deliver. And so I really see a win-win-win effect in this. And I just think it's really important that we start to pay attention to the, not only everyone saying to us, oh, don't worry, just be yourself, which is a phrase you probably have heard many times.
Oh, yeah.
And you hear that and you go, oh yeah, sure, I'm just going to be myself. And then you go, wait a minute, so how do I do that? So that was really the reason why I wanted to write this book. I wanted to give people the tool that they could go through to discover what is already right there. right in front of their tits, as I say, which is my mythology. It could be your nose, your eyes, or whatever. For me, it's your tits.
They tend to stick out a little further. So yeah, you might bump into something first, a little lower down. Well,
Yeah.
I also need to ask you, because X factor is one of the distinctions in your book. You have coined the term the X factor. I want to understand, what do you mean by X factor, and why is that X factor so important?
First of all, just to clarify, if there are anyone out there who think that they do not have an X factor, I want to clarify, you do have an X factor. Every single one of us has an X factor. That is already something that makes you you, and it is that secret sauce, it is that secret thing that is so special, because it is it's combination of your story, of your skills, of your knowledge, of your attributes, of how you look at life, of how you communicate yourself. That's when you take all of that together, pow, we have an X factor. And nobody has that same X factor.
That is really huge. You know, I want to just reframe what you just said, because I heard something as you were saying that. I heard you say that every single person has a unique promise that they deliver just by being who they are, and being able to articulate the promise of who you are and what your clients get to experience by working with you is really profound, and it sets you apart. That differentiation that every business needs desperately, that's the X factor that you're really talking about.
Yeah, that's really what it is, and that's why I think it's such a huge opportunity out there. By branding that, by showcasing that, it is instantly not only going to, like I said before, it is not only going to give you clarity on who you are, but it's going to give you that the thing that it's instantly going to say, okay, I want to go to this person for whatever service she or he is offering, because I like her or I like him. Because we humans, we do business, we do buy from other people that we know, that we like, and that we trust. So a strong brand is always going to stand out, and when we stand out, it also means that we're very clear that what we do for someone and what we will never do. The clarity needs to be on both ends. So by being a strong brand, and this is actually what most people come into the stage of right or being afraid, is that they think, well, what if nobody likes me? What if what happens if I'm really going to be myself, if I'm really going to build my business and just step wholeheartedly into it this way? What if nobody likes you? And, well, my personal phrase, when I went through this thought process myself with the internet and everything, and the huge amount of market space that we are living in today, I asked myself, wow, okay, Runa, there are 7 billion people on this planet. There's got to be someone who likes me. I seriously, this is how I think. And then I thought, okay, that makes sense. Then I'm actually going to, for the ones who do want to be part of what I can offer, who do want to open themselves up and explore their own opportunities there, I'm here. For the ones who are not ready, I will empower them and I will do whatever I can to make their life better, but I guess they will come to me when they are ready.
Runa, you said another thing that's really important that I want to emphasize here. If you're worried about the marketplace liking you and really getting you and understanding your X factor, you've got to be prepared to communicate it clearly, concisely, and compellingly. And that's what I loved about your book. You really provide the exercises, the internal questions. It's concise, it's tight, tangible, and titillating. I love it. You just did a fabulous job on this book. But I want to go on to another question because I have lots of questions for you. So what are the 3 most important things that you want people to remember about their X Factor, about their own brand?
Oh, that is a beautiful question. Number 1, always remember that you have an X Factor. That is absolutely the key thing, and get to know that one. And when I say get to know your X Factor, I'm really talking about that you embrace that. You start to accept, not only to accept it, but you start to value who you truly are. When you go to that place and you're ready, you're actually, I know this is a step-by-step process. So the next step is to say, okay, I'm going to take that one step that's going to allow myself just to see if I open up just slightly more and I give slightly more of who I authentically am. And I'm just going to give a peek and see how it goes. You are on your way. And then the next step. So it's a step-by-step process. And I'm telling you from my own experience because I've really been there. I've really been there. And every single day I have to think about how can I be really as authentic and true to myself so that I can be the role models of others who want to go that way. So I already did 2. I'm going to go for the 3rd one. Sorry about that. The 3rd one is take action today. In a world that is screaming for authenticity, be there. Just go for it. Decide on these little baby steps that you can already take. And then get a coach, go into a mastermind group, get a mentor, do all of these things that are not necessarily so expensive or so difficult. They're all around you. All of these people are there. Every resource that you need is already there. So do it.
So I know you work with a lot of different entrepreneurs around the world, and you have seen all the biggest mistakes. What would you say is the biggest mistake that people keep bumping into again and again and again? What is that massive mistake that we all need to avoid?
Being a copycat. Being looking at someone who has done something and it's remarkable and thinking, I'm going to do exactly the same. That's the beauty. And I actually want to, this might sound maybe like, oh my God, you mean I have to figure this out all by yourself? Well, I'm telling you, you're so unique. And however you became who you are today, it's really up to you to figure out what's the best way for you to take that action. So being a copycat will not exactly make you different. You're just going to copy something that someone else did that was successful for him. So that's why I say discover that X factor, discover who you are. Don't go into the thing of thinking, oh yeah, she did it that way, and that's why I'm going to do it this way. Oops, that was my dog.